What?
Man, alright.
Why'd you hit him? Did he attack you first from the self-defense, or did you hit him?
Man, I walked down the street. Gun.
Virgil, where's his gun at?
Welcome back to the Clipboard. One half of your backcourt is Coach Chuck with my other member of the backcourt.
Yes, it's T-Rob, a.k.a. Coach Rel. We're back.
It's been a long little break. We took a little hiatus. The holidays came up. Christmas, New Year's. How was your holidays?
My holidays was excellent. You know, we did the little matching pajama thing everybody was doing this year,
No, I don't really.
Man, I kind of did it the year before. I ain't really broadcast it like that. You know, it was something Shorty set me up with, but, you know, it was fun.
I hear you. Last episode that we did was a little bit controversial. What'd you say?
That's a good way of putting it. It got a little heated, you know, ruffled some feathers.
Got a little spicy, a little caliente. But I want to put this out there, a little disclaimer. It was never to bash anybody's business, especially somebody that I consider myself cool with. Why would I try to set them up to, you know, bash their business? So, you know, that's why we kind of took that episode down, put it on a little pause real quick, because that wasn't what it was about. You got anything to say about that?
No, I mean, the situation was the situation. You know, we all spoke our piece on it. We moved on from it. And now we're back.
So, right into it, man. The OCS Showcase.
Hey.
Old Coop from Orange.
Yep.
Orange legend comes back up. Got his son, Sharif Cooper, number 19th ranked player, ESPN in the country. One of the top 5 point guards in the country. He comes back up.
Auburn commit?
Yeah, definitely Auburn commit. They come back up. They played 2 games. The first game they played Patrick School. Second game they played Montclair Immaculate. But it was a bunch of good games there. East Orange campus versus University was a real good game. Hudson Catholic Zion Cruz went crazy.
Oh, my God.
And he proved that he was definitely top 20 in the country for
Yeah,
sophomore
he's special.
class.
He's special. I like him.
But
I liked him last year.
well, you know, I coached him before, so I've been a fan. So, you know, and just him, I see the growth because before he was more of a combo guard. Now he's becoming a lead guard. He's actually running the offense. He's not forcing anything. He's letting the offense come to him, and he's consistently putting up 20, 30-point games. And he's 15, 16 years old. So, yeah, he got a bright future. But
Definitely.
we want to get into the meat and potatoes pause because they was acting real crazy earlier, right? We want to get into the meat and potatoes of it. Sharif Cooper.
Yes.
Patrick School.
Yes.
McKeecher.
Yes.
We both there in attendance.
Uh-huh.
What were your thoughts?
This was my thoughts. The Patrick School, they did what they needed to do to win. Sharif Cooper, he showed that there's levels to this. It's levels. So he was being doubled pretty much the whole game. And he handled it well. He didn't overly force things. He picked his spots. He picked his spots, and he chose them well. You know, he made the game very interesting, even with the double teams, and even sometimes he was being triple teamed. The one thing that stood out, I know this is kind of your same type of opinion on it, but the guy Noah Farrakhan, I like the way he played. Like, I think he get a bad rap because people see his highlights. So when they come to the game, they're expecting to see highlights. But what you fans don't understand is that they are just highlights. Of course, you're going to see the fancy layups, the explosive dunks on a highlight tape. But a real basketball mind will understand his true value as a point guard with the things he did, controlling the game, going to the ball in clutch situations, not backing down from the challenge of a Sharif Cooper. You know, so those are things that stood out to me in that game.
Before we get into Noah, talk about McKeachin. You know, that's not the same McKeachin team that they had last year. Obviously, last year they went undefeated. I think they finished number 1 in USA Today. So definitely not the same team. Reef got his hands full. Pretty much him and, you know, for lack of better words, a bunch of role players.
Yeah.
At first, Patrick School came
Those
out,
were
played
the right
man.
words.
Patrick School played man to man. Noah started to. I mean, no, Reef started to attack early on. Got Noah in a little bit of foul trouble. Then they went zone, and that's when they started to send a double team. I mean, when somebody's playing zone, they're sending double and triple teams, and then there's a 6'10" Chinese kid or a 6'9", 6'10" African waiting for you.
Yeah.
It's kind of tough. So Reef didn't have the best shooting night
percentage wise,
but I mean, if you was there and you saw what they was throwing at him, yeah, you can understand why. But he still was able to be effective, still able to keep his team in the game. A lot of the times he would drive, and maybe he might have forced it a couple times, but he was just throwing the right passes. You know, sometimes his teammates didn't make the shots, but
he
kept,
the right basketball plays.
Yeah, you know, he kept him in the game. A lot of people left early. Well, not early, maybe minute 30, 2 minutes left, and, you know, you looked at me and said, game ain't over, and I said, I never said it was over.
Yeah.
And they wound up cutting it to 3, I think. He missed a 3 at the buzzer, and then another kid missed a 3 at the buzzer.
Kawhi Leonard fadeaway three-pointer.
Yeah, so, you know, but it was a very, very good game. Yeah. As far as Noah go, it's weird because, you know, I've talked with a bunch of people, you know, who coach basketball, who are into basketball, into the rankings, and, you know, my opinion on Noah was very good as a freshman, and he started to fall into place as he got older. But what I saw at that game, it made me respect him because he's from New Jersey, obviously.
Yeah.
And all the kids in New Jersey, even older people in New Jersey, they see him and, you know, Noah Farrakhan, he's good, he's this, he's that. You know, he has a bandwagon.
Yeah.
If you go on his Instagram, they got 350-some-odd thousand followers, whatever the case may be, and a lot of them are from Jersey, and that,
definitely,
you know, just rooting on your home team.
Yeah.
But when Reef Cooper came up, I seen a lot of the people who were championing for Noah actually turn against him, and the kid did nothing wrong. The kid did nothing wrong. He didn't, you know, do anything for anybody.
When you say they turned against him, what do you mean by that?
They were booing him. You know, got heckled by a couple of, you know, legends.
Yeah.
Shout out Corey Chandler. Just other people. I seen grown men that, you know, I know don't know Reef Cooper, and, you know, they were damn near in McKeachin's huddle, and they were talking to Noah like, "Oh, girl, you trash." That before, when Patrick School played Mount Verdi, the emphasis was the coaches can't coach. That's why they lost. They can't coach. They come in, they play McKeachin, they play a very, very skilled player. Yeah. And the coaches came in with a game plan. The players followed that game plan. Yep. Which was to rush him, double team him, to make it hard for him. If everybody else beat us, then they beat us. Yeah. And they executed it, and they were booing him. I mean, I've never seen a Jersey player, like, I never seen it, like, turn that fast. And, you know, he got my respect more so, not even just for competing, because he definitely competed. He always plays hard, so definitely give him that. But at the end of the game, when the game was getting tight, you know, they were losing the lead, he was the one going to the ball. Yeah, to get the ball, shoot the free throws. Shoot the free throws.
He wanted the ball in his hands at the end of the game.
And leaders do that, you know. Exactly. At the end of the game, you want the ball in your best player's hands, and he went and he grabbed it. He didn't wait for anybody to come give it to him. He went and got it. So for me, I gave him a lot more respect than, you know, I left out with more respect than I did coming in.
Definitely.
Zarik Nutter had a hell of a game.
I was going to say that we can't go throughout this game without talking about Zarik.
Zarik Nutter.
Oh man, I'm liking him more and more every time I see him. I'm not gonna lie to you.
I mean, I don't want to say his family because, you know, we not like the closest, but I coached him before. I watched him since his freshman year, and the kid, he's getting better. I would like to see him add, you know, a more consistent jump shot, maybe be more aggressive. But if you give him a lane,
more aggressive, he's super aggressive already.
No. When I say aggressive, I don't mean aggressive going to the rim. I mean aggressive as in looking for his own shot, creating his own shot. A lot of his shots come in transition, and are created for him, and there's nothing wrong with that. But I want to see him, you know, to fulfill what I think he could be. And who am I? But I think he could be this, and I want to see him, you know, start to trend towards that maybe because he could be a shot creator.
Do you think he's going to have that opportunity on that particular team?
I mean, Kuminga's not playing. It's just Noah. You know, Kirk is a pure point guard. The bigs aren't creating their own shots. You know, they're not, you know, Kevin Durant types. They're more post-up players. I think he definitely could. But he played a hell of a game, and he almost ended that one kid career when he tried to dunk on him.
Oh my God!
I had to jump up because that's what I like to see. People down there, they try to fillet or jelly fam that.
Nah, he's not doing none of that.
He brought it back to
no jelly, just jam.
Yeah, he definitely tried to. And old boy. But Patrick School won that game by 3. They also played Immaculate. Basically, recap of the same game. They sent doubles and shifted their defense towards them. But they played a hell of a game, and they beat McKeacham. I want to say about 13, whatever the case may be. And I mean, it was a rough little week for Reef because lost 3 in a row. You lose to Patrick School, you lose to Immaculate, then you turn around, you got to play Mount Verdi. On
national TV.
On national TV.
Damn,
so
that's a gauntlet for you.
So that's definitely tough, right? But outside of the showcase, the premier game, then the McKeacham game, the OCS showcase had a lot of Essex County talent in there. So what we wanted to do, something different. We wanted to name the top 5 Essex County teams, in our opinion, up to date to just now. And see, just put it out there. See, a couple games.
So far, just some things that we've seen, teams that we've seen that we think deserve the recognition, and who's going to be leading the storm coming into playoff time.
Yeah, I mean these things fluctuate. Some of these teams might be here right now, and then we might do this in February, and they might not be top 15. Like it happens like that. Just to start off hot streak. So just to start off the season, I'm gonna start off with number 5. Payne Tech, and maybe I'm a little biased. I used to coach there.
My bad.
No, but they're 7-5. They played pretty decent competition. They started off very strong. I want to say 5-2. 2 close games they lost, and they lost one of them to Camden, who's ranked in the top 10. So they had a little difficult schedule. They're led by Danny of Riviere, Zaire Jefferson, and Ibn Everett. Speak about Danny. Danny just got an offer to Felician, and he just has a bunch of double-doubles. He even had a triple-double. So right now I have them ranked number 5, just looking for them to be more consistent and get out. They on a little cold streak. They 3-3 in their last 6 games, so now they're 7-5. But I think just top to bottom, if you're looking at the roster, I think they're pretty good at 5.
Nice. A surprise team for me. We're going to go with the East Orange campus. Coming into the season or coming to the school year, not many people, I feel like not a lot of people had them doing much this season. But, they're surprising a lot of people. They're beating the teams that's been in front of them. 2 or 3 really good wins. The rest, they won the games they're supposed to win, and that says a lot about our teams. They don't sleep on anyone. They come, they play hard. They do what they're supposed to do. Got a couple good players. They're guards. They're led by Isaiah Poole, Jalen. I can't pronounce his last name. Haymans. Excuse me. They got the forwards, Justin Singh, Smith. They got a lot of stuff going on over there. And I'm looking forward to seeing them playing a little bit of tougher competition, see how they handle that. But right now, they're handling their business, so we got them. We slid them in there at number 4.
Yeah, 13-1. The only loss they have is to Irvington. Zay, like you said, Zay. They call him Capo, so that's Jalen. And Justin have been holding the fort down, and they just got a big addition in Davion. They call him Dav. He just came back. He was the starting point guard at North Tech, and he actually started for campus as a freshman. So he just transferred back and
I didn't know about that.
Had to sit the 30 days. So they should be pretty good.
So when he start?
His first game was Saturday.
Okay.
That Saturday when they played University. So they got that's a pretty big addition to get a starting caliber point guard. Yeah. It's pretty good for them. At number 3, I have the Central Blue Devils led by OG. Definitely we had them on here earlier.
Oh, yeah.
Just like he said, very small team, very gritty though.
Yes.
Very, very gritty. They just played the other day at the OCS. They played Taft Prep School from California. And Taft was really talented. Had a sophomore who got about 8 to 9 Division I offers. And it was a buzzer beat. I mean, a nail biter. They almost hit a buzzer beater to tie the game. Then they lost by 3. But yeah, Tasheem Anderson transferred from University. He's leading them in scoring right now. He started that game off very aggressive, going to the rim, getting whatever he wanted. David French is a kid that when I was coaching at Bloomfield Tech, I liked a lot. I actually wanted him to come to Bloomfield Tech. Nice mid-range jump shot. I think he might have shot about 8 mid-range jump shots, might have made 6, and I don't think any of them hit the rim. Akil Donamo, he went to St. Mary's, transferred into Central. He's the senior point guard. He steadies them.
St. Mary's closed down. So
yeah. But he transferred in last year.
Okay.
You could see when he under control, he's a totally different player because he's very, very fast. So if he's going 1,000 miles per hour, sometimes he can get out of control. But when he's under control, he's a different player. They're a different team. And they have a sophomore, Zamorian. He's been putting up some pretty stats,
I got to check him out.
So he's been playing pretty good. So that's number 3 for us.
Ironically, the number 2 team just played them tonight, and they beat them. The number 2 team beat the number 3 team by 5, I believe. At number 2, we got Irvington Blue Knights. That's kind of a little favorite of mine. I'm from Irvington, so
What'd you say?
I'm just saying they doing what they're supposed to do right now. They're 12-1 after tonight. The one loss to North Tech, which was shocking to me. I don't know how that happened, but outside of that, they've been doing what they're supposed to do, beating the teams how they're supposed to beat them, not just beating them, not sneaking by, but convincingly beating a lot of teams. Then they got some good guard play, some shooters. They got a little bit. I think they may need some inside presence if they're gonna really make a deep run to try to even attempt to get to the TOC. But if they get a someone to step up on the inside, they may be able to make some noise. They do got one guy that's kind of tall, Ja, but he's more of a wing as opposed to a big guy. I know you were trying to get him over at Bloomfield Tech a couple years ago.
Yeah.
But yeah, he's at Irvington now. He's playing on the wing a little bit. But the last game I went to, he grabbed about 8-9 rebounds, which is a little shocking for me because he usually doesn't bang like that. So if he starts to add that to the game and can contribute that to that team, that can be an X factor for them going deep into the playoffs.
Yeah, they surprised me last year. I didn't think they were going to be that good as they were. Moses Pierre is averaging about 20 points per game right now. He's lighting the nets up. Then you got senior guards, Nas and Kareem. They're also scoring a lot. I think it helps when you have veteran leadership. And then Kamani's not a big, but he plays big well. He's very well built together, athletic, gets to the rim. And shout out to Coach Elias Brantley, man.
Yeah.
If you know him, he played at Bloomfield. It was all predicated on defense, and I'm pretty sure that he has Irvington playing great
phenomenal
team defense. So shout out to them. They are our number 2 ranked team. And number 1 goes to Montclair Immaculate at 10-4. And some people would say, well, Irvington is 13-1 now. I want to say 12-1, and East Orange is 13-1. How they ranked above them at 10-4? I just think they played tougher competition.
Yeah.
They played about 5 or 6 teams out of state. They played McKeachin, Hudson Catholic. They played Bosco, so they're playing a very, very tough schedule. And they lost the star power last year and height. With Nick leaving, he was 6'7", 6'8". Elijah Hutchins ever leaving, he's about 6'10", 6'11".
Yeah. When
you lose that size. And, at one point, Elijah was ranked in the country, so you lose that. You expect them not to be as good as they were. But sometimes, and this is not a slight against those kids that left or graduated, but sometimes less is more. Those kids they're like a well-oiled machine. Mm-hmm. They're like, some teams just look like they had, it looked like they have fun playing together. They share the ball. Nobody's looking to score 30 on a consistent basis. Mm-hmm. They're looking for the right shots. They're making the right passes.
And you know what it is, too? Sometimes that pressure comes off. Like, you don't have all those big-name players, so it's not high expectations for you. Now the kids are just playing. They're having fun. They're playing. They're competing, and they're not just looking for one particular person to carry the load. They're all just contributing.
Yeah, so Amari Marshall was just showing a bunch of glimpses. Everybody knew the potential was there, but now – I seen in one game he looked like a totally different player. Maybe because he didn't have to but be second or third fiddle behind those two,
Opportunity.
or whatever case may be. But he looks very good. Zion Bethea, Hallstra commit. He's playing well. Zakai Ziegler, another kid I tried to get at. Protect playing.
Tried to get everybody.
But yeah, he was a very, very good scorer at AAU. Right now, he's just doing all the little things. He took on the challenge of playing Reef Cooper when Immaculate played them. He's making the right passes, and I think him and the kid Dante bring toughness to the team. Two New York guards, they bring that, and Zakai might be 5'7", but he walk around like he's 6'8". That toughness, and then Zay Marsh. It's not Zion. I want to say it's Zayon Marsh. He's pretty good. About 6'5", 6'6". He's been scoring the ball for him, taking advantage of mismatches. And Jimmy got them playing good. So right now we have them at number 1. So that's our top 5 in Essex County.
Yep.
And hopefully when we come back, because this is January, we probably want to do this every month.
Once a month.
Yeah, once a month.
I'm with it.
So in February, we'll see if there's any different teams that may come above. There's some other, teams like might be challenging Payne Tech 7-5. Might be some teams. Columbia's up there, and they just played Columbia tonight. So we'll see what happens with that.
Mm-hmm.
All right, man. So now off the high school, let's go to the NBA. Getting close to All-Star time, and they're putting out the All-Star votes. And right now, do you think things need to change as far as the voting system goes? Because let's look at it.
Mm-hmm.
Alice Caruso and Taco Fall are in the top 10 in votes for their category. Taco Fall played more games in the G League than he did in the NBA. Alice Caruso's a backup, and it's not like Lou Will. Like, he's not coming scoring 20. He have a game every now and then. But
this will be my thing. We have to decide who is the All-Star game for. Is it for the fans, or is it to acknowledge what the players have done? Because if it's for the fans, then why are we changing it? This is who the fans want to see. If this is if it's an acknowledgement of what the players have done, then all right, I get that.
You know what I think? I think fans will vote, just being funny. But if it was a All-Star game and it was Alice Caruso and Taco Fall, or just let's say a bunch of people like that,
yeah.
And now you're taking away accomplishment. Think about Dame Lillard, who didn't make the All-Star game for the first 4 or 5, maybe 6 years of his career, despite averaging 25 and 7.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That's a little crazy to me. Saying he should be behind Alex Caruso, or you know what I mean? Nah, like that's Lou Will, who arguably people were saying should have made it last year.
Yeah.
There's no reason Alex Caruso should be voted over him. Fast forward, let's go to Eastern Conference. Kyrie Irving. He's played 14 or 15 games. He's been voted in as a starter as of right now. The way they do it now is 50% fan vote, 25% players, 25% coaches.
Okay.
That dictates the starter. So as of right now, based off the fan voting, he's a starter. This happened before. I want to say Melo missed some games, and they voted him as a starter. How do you feel about that?
That, I would say, it needs to be some type of set rule. It has to be some type of cutoff. Like, hey, he has to play a certain amount of games in order to be voted in. Because it's not fair if you don't play. Like, how are you an all-star? It can't be off what you've done in the past. It has to be off what you've done this season. So has he been an all-star this season?
He's only played 15 games. Like,
exactly.
You can't give him that. And I'm a Nets fan. So you definitely can't give him that. I think that's pretty bad. Somebody like Kemba Walker, who he's made All-Star games, but I don't think he's ever been an All-Star. No, you know what? He was a starter, I think, last year in Charlotte. But he's going to Boston. He has Boston looking good. Mm-hmm. And
where's Kemba ranked this far?
He's ranked behind Kyrie and Trae Young.
That's crazy.
So, that's crazy to me. And Trae Young, I said him. Let's talk about him.
Yeah.
How do you feel about players being voted into the All-Star game or making the All-Star game if their team has the worst record in the league? Because some people say it's hollow stats. Or,
I say it doesn't matter. Like, if he's out there balling, then he out there balling. He deserve it. I don't care if your team winning or losing. Like, you're doing your job.
Well, some people might look at it as okay, let's look at somebody like a Spencer Dinwiddie, right?
Yeah.
Who I think should make the All-Star game over Kyrie, right? But he's on a team with Kyrie. He's on a team with Karis LeVert. He's averaging 23 and 6.
Okay.
Trae Young averaging 29. He's by himself. So some people might say, yo, you put Dinwiddie on the Hawks, they'll still be losing, but he can average 29. But he might not make the All-Star game.
See, this is my whole thing with it is this. He's trying to win. It's not like he's just out there like, all right, I'm about to just go for my stats. Like, he's competing to win. He's not just saying, forget everything. I don't care if we want to lose. I just want to score points.
Do we know that?
From the way, I'm just saying by the way it looks. He's out there trying to win. He's trying to play defense. He's passing the ball. He's in the right situations. He's trying to score. Like, I watch one or two Hawk games. I'm not but I watched to see him. I wanted to see what he would do. But the way he plays, it's not like I don't care about whatever else is happening on the court. I'm going to score. Nah, I'm trying to win.
Okay, question for you. So Trae Young or Malcolm Brogdon, who was a backup in Milwaukee, and now he's come to Indiana. And he's putting up career numbers in every single category and has them as a playoff caliber team. Like, what do you think about that?
Who numbers are better?
So winning doesn't matter at all.
It does matter. All right, so we're going to pick this up in a few minutes. We're going to go pay some of our sponsors, pay some bills. We'll be back with you guys soon. The Clipboard.
Welcome back to the Clipboard. Shout out to our sponsors for helping us out.
Appreciate
getting
you.
us out there. Let's get right back into it, man. Delonte West, man. Pretty sad situation going on with him. It's been going on for a while. Just a clip of him actually getting beat up on the highway and getting arrested. Now, the cop has actually been suspended because that was a cop that actually was recording him and answering the questions. But, just sad to see somebody fall from grace. And then,
was he actually recording? Was that the body cam?
No, they say he was recording him.
Okay.
He's suspended. Like, he's suspended indefinitely. Mm-hmm. So, I mean, if the body cam recorded him,
yeah,
he wouldn't be suspended.
That's why I was asking him. Like, that's weird.
Yeah, so he pulled his phone out, and he saw somebody that he recognized from NBA, team, maybe college or whatever case may be, and he recorded his lowlights. Now, a lot of people have been saying that they've been trying to help him, Delonte West. He has been diagnosed with bipolar disease.
Okay.
And he went as far as to say, in the beginning, before they knew he was bipolar, all the NBA teams would say, yeah, that he's tough. He's a tough, gritty player we need. But then when he was finally diagnosed, anytime something happened, they would say, "Low, he's just being bipolar." Now, with situations like this, Phil Martelli, his college coach at St. Joe's, Jameer Nelson,
college teammate.
Yeah, teammate, his former agent. They've all said people have tried to help him. They've set up dates at clinics and, to get him some help. And every time the date is set, he cancels them. Delonte, he just either cancels them or he doesn't go. Okay. So when it comes to that, I go back to one of my favorite movies, Jason Lyric, when Lyric said to Jason, sometimes you can't save somebody that don't want to be saved. How do you feel in that scenario when somebody's going through something and it's visual and everybody sees it's definitely a terrible situation for any human being to be going through, but people have tried to help and he hasn't accepted the help. How do you feel it should keep going? Should they try further?
In certain situations, I believe you have to save people from themselves.
Okay.
So, like for me, if someone close to me, like just say someone in our circle, they were going through a rough time like this, I personally feel like I would physically restrain the person, get them to wherever they need to get to. I'm not going to rely on them. Obviously if they're under the influence, they're not reliable enough to make those decisions. I'll have to step in and make those decisions for them by any means necessary. Because I'm not going to let my friend, my family member, my brother, whoever it is, I'm not going to let them go down that path. I got to do whatever I can in my ability. You know, if I can get that person to the clinic, get them cleaned up a little bit, get them in a rehab program, and they still relapsing, then all right, it's something different. But I gotta at least get them to the situation where they're receiving the help. I can't rely on them to come get the help.
So do you think that I don't want to say his peers, you know, former teammates, former players, family, former coaches, they even said the Mavericks and the Celtics, both two teams he used to play for, people from their management and, you know, their higher ups were trying to get him help. Do you think that they're not helping enough, or do you think they're just saying, you know, because some people could just say a lot of things for show.
It sounds so good, you know. Oh, let me write this on Twitter real quick. Let me put out this article real quick. Oh yeah, we're trying to help him. We're doing everything in our power to help him. Sure, you're doing everything in your power to help Cap, but you see what his situation is. Like, people say that type of stuff because it's easy to say stuff. It's harder to put the work in and get something done. You know, I don't think they really want to waste their energy. They might have tried some stuff, but did they really get their full effort? Like, if it was their family member, they would have been more committed to making sure that person get help.
See, the only thing I would say, I'm playing devil's advocate. Mm-hmm. If we don't know, like, we only see the clips when something happens to him. Mm-hmm. We don't know if they actually put him in there one time and then he left.
Yeah, we don't.
You know what I'm saying? So now, sometime when you, let's say, Jameer Nelson twice got him in rehab, physically took him there, and then now he left both times. You know what I mean? Now it's like, do I keep leaving what I got going on in my life, my family, to keep helping this man? I've tried.
Yeah.
So, I mean, it is definitely a tough situation. It goes to show about mental health. You know, he's bipolar. That it's not for fun. You know, at first people would, when I think it was a clip where he was riding around with like guns and like a guitar case or something like that.
Yeah.
And, you know, at that time I didn't know he was bipolar. So, you know, you Instagram posts, you make fun of it, whatever the case may be. But now look, you know what I mean? And what happened to the people who knew he was bipolar? Why didn't they try to help him? Or why wasn't the help administered earlier? It's definitely a tough situation. So, you know, keep him in my prayers. You know, hopefully y'all keep him in your prayers. And, you know, hopefully that situation turns out better for him, right? But let's go from not so happy scenario for Jersey, a very good scenario. For the first time since 1990-91, there's two ranked college teams in the top 25. Mm-hmm. Seton Hall, who's reached number 10, the highest they've been since I want to say 91. And then
RU, baby.
Rutgers University.
Let's go.
Coming in at number 24.
Shout out to Rutgers.
First time they've been ranked in 41 years.
Hey, man.
I don't even know what to say about that. That's a long time. They played in the Big East. Now they're in the Big Ten. To go that long and not actually be ranked shows how bad the scenario is. Shout out to Steve Peichel. Kind of turned that situation around. They're looking really, really good right now. I want to say they're 12-4 or 13-4.
13-4.
13-4.
14-4 now.
14-4 in the Big Ten. They lost a couple of close games, and I think they only have one senior on their team. So they're
young, yeah.
They have everybody coming back. So right now, looking like they may be heading towards March.
They're recruiting somebody that I want to go there. That I want to go there. You seen the chance, right?
So shout out. Well, it's crazy because on here he cut his list from 13 to 8. Clifford Amari went to a Rutgers University basketball game, as happens when you're being scouted or being recruited. You know, they invite you to games, whatever. And the entire rack, the whole stadium was chanting, "We want Cliff. We want Cliff." That was pretty. That was surreal. You know, especially for an 18-year-old kid coming over from Africa. He's if you know him, he's very, very humble. To have a whole stadium chanting your name.
I'm not gonna lie, I've never seen anything like that. Like, as far as recruitment goes, like, have you ever?
No, I can't say off the top of my head. You know, most of the time, you know, they try to woo you when you come for the official visit. And, you know, they might
make a video,
or whatever the case may be. But like, I spoke to Cliff, and they were saying like when they parked, like the parking attendants knew that was Cliff, and they was like, "Yeah, nah, you got to come to Ruck." Like even the parking attendants are in on it. So hey man, Auburn, UConn, Arizona State.
But I'll tell you this: that speaks volumes to the job that the coaching staff is doing there. Everyone's in tune with what's going on, and that's how you turn the program around. It's not just about what you do between the lines. Like they got the whole school, everyone's incorporated and bettering the program.
If you watch the clip going back to coaching, one of their coaches and Ron Harper Jr., who's one of their starters, one of their leading scorers, were actually waving the crowd on.
Yes, I seen that. I couldn't distinguish who it was that was doing it.
It was Ron Harper Jr. and that was one of the assistant coaches waving the crowd on to get them louder. And Big Cliff finally stood up and they cheered, whatever. But that was good. But enough about Rutgers. We ain't gonna count my guys out. Top 10.
Who you talking?
Seton Hall.
Did we play?
The Pirates. Number 10 in the country.
Did y'all play Rutgers?
Yeah, we did.
What happened?
We lost.
Oh, all right.
Did Miles Powell play the whole game?
What they got to do with me? Did you win or did you lose?
I keep this same exact
energy. Did you win or did you lose?
I just want you to keep the same energy for this next topic. Okay, cool. We lost to Rutgers. Cool. Now my boy is back. Top 10 in the country. Arguably the best player in the country. Just won player of the week. Beat Butler on the road. They were number 5 in the country. What more you want from my team?
I'm proud of that team. They're doing a great job.
We started off number 12. We fell out of the top 25. Now we back top 10.
Yeah, I'm doing a great job this season. I can't take nothing away from y'all. I just asked that y'all beat Rutgers. That's all I asked. And now you're coming at me. You're attacking me. No.
I'm going to attack you now.
No.
Speaking of
I think
injuries,
we ran out of time.
Speaking of injuries.
I think we ran out of time.
Because you just said it don't matter who played or who didn't play, right? What's up with them Tar Heels, dog?
Honestly, I'm going to be honest with you. I'm going to blame our situation on the lack of development. We go out, we recruit guys. They're supposed to be such and such. When they come in, there's no real development there. They're just letting them play. And then we have one that is an actual standout. He gets hurt. So now everyone's looking around like, what happens now? Other people not living up to what they're supposed to do. The guys that's been there haven't not really being developed because they're being recruited over. And it's like, now what? So I feel like that's what's happening there at UNC. Yeah.
No. Tell me your record.
I don't even know our record. It was 7-8.
Y'all in last place in the ACC.
We're not going to finish there.
Y'all lost to Clemson for the first time at home in 40-some-odd years, which caused Roy Williams to say they should fire me. Yeah. Y'all stink.
We do.
So don't talk about Miles and the Pirates when your team is in last place in the ACC.
Listen, my team is number 24.
Oh, yeah.
Where'd I go to school at?
Now
I didn't go to Rutgers?
I'm looking at this camera and I'm saying, as a grown man, you shouldn't be allowed to switch teams. And now that he said he switched teams, he has to keep this same energy.
I didn't switch teams. I'm a UNC fan through and through, but I do love my alma mater, Rutgers.
But getting off of bad basketball, let's talk about why every team that hits number 1 continues to fall out of number 1. Michigan, I think it's been 8 teams already. Michigan State, Duke, Kansas, Kentucky, Gonzaga, Texas is not Texas. Is it Texas? No, Baylor's number 1 now.
Number 1 now.
Oh, did I say Kansas?
You said Kansas.
Let me see.
San Diego State number 4.
Yeah, they're under. Louisville was number 1. Oh yeah,
Louisville was number 1. I don't think Villanova was.
No, that's it. So seven teams. Like, I don't understand what's going on.
Kentucky?
Yeah, I said Kentucky. Auburn was number 4. They cost me some money. They just lost 2 in a row.
Jeez, they dropped to 16.
Where's Memphis at?
20 at 14-3.
Do you think it's a because what happens in basketball, everything changes, in any sport, the teams that are usually top, they usually stay at the top, but sometimes they may fall in and there's new blood. So do you think right now with, like you said, San Diego State is number 4 in the country.
Yeah.
Baylor's number 1. Seton Hall's top 10. I'm a Seton Hall fan.
Somebody was supposed to go to San Diego State. They didn't want to go across the country.
Whatever the case may be. We gonna say that for another time. But do you think it's new blood, or do you think that it's just bad basketball? Maybe it's injuries, or maybe the youth. We talked about this. Maybe the youth, the young kids aren't as prepared. But
I think it's a combination of a few things. So number one, I feel like a lot of these top program schools, the coaches got comfortable over the past few years. They bring in a good recruiting class. They don't really got to coach much. You know, they could pretty much roll the ball out. The talent will exceed anyone else's. So they just win games that way. Yeah, and I'm not saying they don't coach at all, but, you know, they didn't have to do much coaching when they have that much talent. It's like, who's going to match that? And then the youngness does come into effect. You know, a lot of these schools are losing to veteran schools. Like Duke lost to Stone Cold Steve Austin.
Stevens S. Austin.
Stone Cold Steve Austin, 316. So,
Kentucky lost to Evansville.
Yeah, so they're losing to a lot of these teams that has seniors. They're older players, so they're being developed. So they have that college experience. These kids coming from high school to college is two totally different levels. You know, it's two totally different speeds. It's two totally different strengths. Every time you go up, but they don't understand that. Every time you go up a level, yeah, you might have played against those guys in AAU a few years ago, but now it's different. So that difference, and again, playing against high school and then playing against seniors in college. And you got to remember, some of these kids may be older. They might be 23, 24, and you're 19 years old.
I mean, I'm glad you said that. We're not going to talk about it now, but that'll be the topic on one of these upcoming episodes is the reclass situation. And, you know, in high school, I noticed it, but I really didn't notice it. But now that I coach young kids, I have a 10, 11, 12-year-olds on my team, and we're playing teams with kids that are 2 years older than them in the same grade. It's crazy. So I want to, you know, we'll talk about that in another episode because we're kind of running out of time. I don't know if you were prepared for Performer of the Week, the Wild Performer of the Week.
Yeah, I didn't. You know, I had some things going on this week. I didn't really get to.
Yeah, I really didn't either. But it literally just popped in my mind. I want to highlight this one kid. Oh, hold on. Before we even get into that, shout out Antonio Sellers, one of my former players. He got found with a brain tumor. Mm-hmm. They just played at the Armory. Hudson Catholic played at the Armory against, I forget who they played, but they were down by, I want to say, that wasn't Maris. I forget. But they were down 18 and going into the second half, and they won that game. And, you know, the people at the Armory, the people who, I think it's a Dan Finn Classic, the people who run that, they did a good gesture. They gave him the player of the game, Antonio Sellers. So I wanted to shout him out, tell him to keep fighting. If you've seen my post before, I got a bunch of posts with him. He's a play fiend. So, you know, that was my guy. So keep fighting. Salute to him. But my Wild Performer of the Week is from Hudson Catholic, is Zion Cruz. 28 points against Dickinson. Didn't even play the entire fourth quarter. He just made it look, you know, he didn't play the fourth quarter at all. And he actually just made it look easy. Crazy athletic, becoming more and more poised. He has a bunch of offers, so salute to him, Zion Cruz. He's our Wild Performer of the Week. And we'll get back at you next episode. The Clipboard from Coach Chuck. Sign out from Coach Rel. We out here.